Hey, hello and welcome back to the Ford Factor. Oh man, the volume is going off the charts already. I'm so enthusiastic about being here in the studio. This is the sports podcast with a little bit of a difference. My name is Tim Senna. I'm here with Mr. Ben Tyler at Switch Radio Towers. How's it going, Ben?
It's going very well, mate.
Fresh back from the US. What were you up to? We were seeing your Instagram in the week, just chilling out, watching some New York
Knicks
basketball.
Yeah, I loved it.
Knicks, go Knicks. It's just like every time I watch Friends, I get that kind of Knicks vibe. But anyway, we've got a lot to get across the table, a lot of news in the world of sport that we're going to take a bite-sized chunk of. Starting off with the slightly controversial Ballon d'Or. I guess we'll start with the men's side of things because there's a bit of a bleep show with the women's side that we have to deal with. But a bit of a left field winner, actually, I guess, Ben, or even though he's playing in the centre of the park. Luka Modric finally getting a nod, breaking up the kind of two-party dominance of Messi and Ronaldo. So what was your take on that one? Do you think Modric has done enough to inspire that accolade?
I think he definitely has, and I think the key thing that came from that was his speech where he said this is for all the players in the past who had the quality and did achieve the things in their careers to have won it. A bit
of shade thrown at Messi and Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Just because
exactly.
I think there's so many great players who...
The Xavis, Iniestas.
Yeah, exactly.
Wesley Sneijder as well, he mentioned.
Just because there's like eye-catching players that always easily get recognised. I've heard a few people saying that because Modric won't like win a game solo in the same way as maybe a Ronaldo could do, like a stunning volley from like 25 yards, or Messi would just run past the whole team and chip it in. Do you think that gives him any less like credibility as a deserving winner?
I don't think it does. I think the way that he plays, his impact on the team comes from further back in midfield. So although he might not score all the goals, and he chips some of the assists, obviously, doesn't he? But
yeah.
In terms of making the game-changing moments from scoring himself, he makes his influences elsewhere. I think, especially as a captain as well for Croatia in the World Cup, bringing those to a final for the first ever time, you can't really beat that. And I think just for that alone, other than winning Champions League and everything else from this year, I think he deserves it just for that solely.
Still a little bit sore for us, the whole Croatia thing. However, unfortunately, in the realm of stupidity, I mean, first of all, a big shout out to Ada Hegerberg winning the, was it the first ever?
The first ever inaugural.
So the inaugural Women's Ballon d'Or. Women's was a fast-growing sport. We love it here on the Ford Factor. We've kind of followed it for a number of years now, mainly because we're Birmingham City fans, as you can see from the badge I've got, and you're not wearing anything.
I'm not, I'm sorry.
I'm representing. But basically, the women's team at Blues are literally just better than the men's team. So we were ahead of the boat with this one. We got into it. It's great to see the big steps being taken. I think Stephanie Rush's, what's it called? The Goal of the Year award.
Puskas award.
Oh, I thought it was a Puskas. She nearly won a Puskas, which sounds like a cat, I think.
Yeah.
But and now Hegerberg wins the first ever women's title trophy, and the host DJ Martin Solveig asks her, "Can you twerk?" So, okay, I have. There's a number of levels to this. First of all, this is insanely stupid and ill thought out. Like, regardless of what you think about the context, because sometimes the players get asked to. It's tradition they get asked to dance on stage.
Yeah.
So the context was she did her dance and he was like, "Can you twerk?" Even with that context, I just feel like, given the absolute belittlement that female athletes have to put up with still in 2019, it's just such a offensive thing to say, for want of a better expression.
I don't think it was a really weird moment to come up with that sort of joke, even if it was a joke, which obviously meant it as. It's just a weird stage at which to make that sort of joke, and even though he's tried to explain it and say, I think it was either lost in translation. He said to ask her to twirl or something like that.
Oh, okay.
He's trying to pass it off as that,
how convenient. How convenient. I thought when I watched the first video of it, she just goes like, off. Like,
you can tell from the reaction she's kind of not accepting of it. So
I mean, afterwards, I think she played it down. And what I've noticed, like, it's the same thing whenever we talk to Birmingham City women's players, they always play down the gender divide stuff. They don't want to victimise themselves because they're out there just like busting their asses and doing an incredible job every week. But at the same time, there are just double standards that you notice. And for me, like, the fact that a joke like that was made and then undermines it and stealing the headlines, like, it shows we've still got a problem that needs overcoming, I think.
Yeah, and I think just the big thing that came from afterwards was her reaction, that she played it down and then she just concentrated on what was important, her winning the inaugural title.
Yeah,
which we should just all remember and respect.
Yeah, think about the footballers, and also I think as Alex Scott, the former England or current Lionesses player, tweeted. She actually gave a really powerful speech about inspiring young girls to take up football, and that was largely lost in the headlines by dumb DJ asks if she can twerk.
Yeah.
So I think it's like take these stupid things at the level that they're pitched at, which is like a low kind of don't give them the time of day. Is my take on it, I guess. Right. And elsewhere in the world of boxing, we had a knockout of a different variety to the amazing punchline that DJ so cleverly brought in. Well, I mean, we didn't really have an amazing knockout because it was Tyson Fury taking on Deontay Wilder.
Yeah.
But which camp were you on going into this? Because when he was going for Sports Personality of the Year and all the stuff came out about his like homophobic comments, I wasn't the biggest Tyson Fury fan. Always found him a little bit. McGregor was the right side of arrogant, controversial. And for me, Tyson Fury was the wrong side. But he's had his whole historical kind of been at the lowest point, struggled with depression, and then incredible like ill health, and fought himself back to fitness, and then forced this points draw with Deontay Wilder. So much to unpack there. First of all, do you think he was robbed? Because that's what a lot of people have been saying.
I think he definitely was. I mean, people look at the takedown in the 12th round.
Yeah.
And the fact that he managed to get back up from that, and then I think from that point edged the fight, other than obviously the knockdown.
Yeah.
Just says it all, and just the mental strength to come back from that, back from everything that he's fought in the past. It's just huge props to him. Really respect him.
You ever
for
watched like WWE when you were younger? The wrestling?
No, I was never into that. Everyone else was, but not me.
Neither was I. Like only my friends were, because it was a 90s thing.
Yeah.
But it's like the Undertaker. He goes back down and then just resurrects himself. It's like kind of a vampire sitting up in a casket, I thought. Is that a bit of showmanship from Fury, do you think? Because it seems it was all too easy for him to get back up after it.
I mean, you have a faked how hard he got hit, but you look at the back of the replay, not only the force of the shot, but the way he hits his head off the canvas, and you think, there's no way he's getting up from that. Wilder was even celebrating as well, in front of the cameras.
Yeah, I saw that, and then his face went...
He turned around and he's like, what? How's he got back up?
It seemed very real.
How's he done that?
It's crazy. I think he's just a very resilient guy. He's got a very thick skull.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
but overall, just a fantastic fight, and I think he definitely got robbed there. But whether the rematch happens or not, it remains to be seen.
I think the rematch will happen. It feels to me. I got kind of into boxing recently. I think it was the Mayweather-McGregor thing, and then the YouTube boxing that got me into it.
Yeah.
But the Logan Paul KSI fight we were talking about a few months ago suspiciously ends in a draw with a rematch on the card.
I was thinking that. I thought, it's a nice little earner.
Think boxing is at risk of becoming that sport that's like a bit erring on the side of like the money that they make from it in betting and advertising is a bigger deal than the actual sporting event?
I think it could be, and I think it's a bit of a danger for them that needs to be aware of. I think a lot of people were saying that. You look at boxing now, those two events in particular, the KSI Logan Paul fight, which obviously, even though it's not a legitimate fight,
it draws the attention. It's like the most highest earning,
and then this draw as well. People were saying that
the scoring does seem
the scoring seems a bit suspicious, and you think if those are both ending in draws when there should be, many people feel there should be a clear winner, then if it carries on, then there's a real threat that boxing could end up becoming lesser than UFC, which is almost replacing boxing in terms of the sport and the fellowship.
UFC still holds a lot of respect, and I think when I got into it at uni, it's a steep jump to get into that style of fighting, but once you're into it, it's very hard to watch boxing because it seems so tame in comparison.
Yeah.
And the final sort of talking point is Anthony Joshua is hovering here in the wings. What's a draw do for him, do you think? And what sort of chance would he stand against both Fury or Wilder, whoever eventually he ends up fighting? Because it would be one of them.
It must be a weird one for him, because I think he's probably expecting that his next fight would be Wilder or Fury. Yeah. So now he has to look at it and think, right, does a rematch happen? Do either Fury or Wilder go straight into a fight with him? Or does he hang back, maybe have another fight and then fight over those two fighters? So
it is a frustrating one, because I always think that the weight in boxing is the thing that gets me. It's like they're so good at hyping it up. You're so used to I was counting down the days to Fury, Wilder, McGregor's fight as well was really hyped, and even Anthony Joshua's before it. It just seems like they're in now this endless cycle of hyping without actually delivering the product. Especially when you see a draw, it's like, well, what was all the point in that then? we don't know anything. It's like Brexit.
There we go.
We're still here.
Great comparison.
Nothing's happened. Either way.
But I think next year for boxing is going to be a massive one. Whether the rematch happens, or if we go straight into Joshua against either of those two.
2019.
If you get both fights, that's ideal, isn't it?
That's the one.
Everyone's a winner there, so
right.
Hopefully that happens.
We shall close off, I think, with a customary check of the championship table, which our beloved club Birmingham City and this other club Aston Villa are in. I have to be more fair about it now because it's a forward factor, not a Bluescast. Aston Villa 8th, Birmingham City 9th. 1 point, 3 goal difference separating us. This is the closest two teams have been in quite some time.
Yeah, at this point I'll take it any day.
Is the City blue or claret and blue though?
It's definitely blue.
It's definitely blue because right. I'm just saying. I think a lot of Villa fans come from outside. They always say I've been having arguments on Twitter about what colour the City is. They're saying what. Obviously, there's more people who come to Villa Park and Stadium, but I think the City Centre, as JK said, if the City is yours, then actually come City Centre. Makes sense.
There we go.
And it's great for football that we're so close. What else have we got to say?
It's great for the rivalry, I think. When both clubs were in different divisions and maybe the gap weren't there, even when we weren't in the same division, I think the fact that we're so close now in the same league.
Yeah.
I think the rivalry's really come back, hasn't it, in recent years?
It's like it's like Manchester City, Manchester United, but we're both a lot worse. Although at this rate, we could probably beat Man United.
Oh, definitely. I reckon we'd definitely do them at home, yeah.
This has been the Forward Factor. Make sure you check us out on Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn. We probably got that at Forward Factor. And we'll see you real soon for some semantic. What's coming up? What's on the horizon? Blues are playing Bristol City.
At home, so we're smashing them.
So more stuff like that. Yeah, Forward Factor.